Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Polymer Link Holdings Berhad IPO webinar tonight. Polymer Link Holdings Berhad will be listed on ACE market on 25 of November. Polymer Link Holdings Berhad are manufacturing plastic powder for general and specialist application. The company is also involved in other business activity, namely trading of equipment and product to manufacturing and contract roto molding. Later on, our Polymer Link management team will discuss it in detail. Here we're going to honor the company group senior VP, Mr. Kevin Cole. Hi, Kevin.
Hello.
Hi, and our head of supply chain and administration, Mr. Edward Cole. Hi, Edward.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Good evening. And our group financial controller, Mr. Low. Hi, Mr. Low.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Okay, let's review for the corporate video before I run through the presentation. Thank you.
We are now living in a future where every design is achievable and every color possible. Enter the realm of polymer innovation, where roto-molding has shaped the world's industries and where Polymer Link takes the lead. A prominent figure in Southeast Asia's roto-molding industry, Polymer Link specializes in polymer compounding and raw material supply. Our expertise spans polymer compounding, custom grinding, and the meticulous crafting of color master batches. With dynamic state-of-the-art facilities positioned across Malaysia, India, and the Philippines, Polymer Link is poised to be the gateway to a dynamic ASEAN market. Our strategic presence across the region represents the seed of innovation, cultivating an environment where creativity and progress thrive. These are the spaces where ideas take form and where businesses come to life. Our facilities are the centers of technological advancement and breakthrough, where polymer solutions are developed, continuously reshaping industries and touching lives around the world. Our diverse range of raw materials is carefully designed to cater to the specific needs of various businesses. From specialty grade to engineering grade and culminating in standard grade materials, we've got every aspect covered to meet every demand imaginable in the world of polymer innovation. The result of our continuous R&D in hardware development and material cultivation is the Hyperene series. More than just a polymer, Hyperene is a specialty-grade roto-molding material that raises the bar for toughness, now serving as the benchmark for durability among industries dealing with highly corrosive materials and intensive wear and tear. Consequently, our advancements in material technology have also led to the creation of the Crosslink series, known for its low odor formation, minimized pockmarking tendency, and wide processing window. At Polymer Link, we are ultimately collaborators working alongside clients and suppliers to create masterpieces of color, effects, and enhanced performance. We are the architects of polymer innovation, committed to excellence in research and development to maintain the highest quality standards. Our dedication to quality is validated by our certifications: ISO 9001, ANAB, YASANS, and BSI benchmark product certifications. Thus, Polymer Link is more than a supplier. We are partners that cover you from A to Z, from technical support and troubleshooting to seamless toll processing, optimizing every step of your journey in the world of polymers. All in all, we transform dreams into reality. Designs come alive, colors pop, and possibilities become tangible. We turn potential into a reality. Polymer Link, igniting innovation, molding tomorrow.
Okay, all right. Thanks for the video. And without further ado, we'll start the presentation now. Over to you, Kevin.
Okay, we just set this up. Thank you, Shakin. So good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this Friday evening. It's not easy, but we are very grateful. So thank you to the Rakuten team for providing us this platform to share our journey. So I'm Kevin, Senior Vice President of the group, and on behalf of Polymer Link, welcome to our IPO briefing. Today, our team will walk you through our story and the key facts of our IPO, as well as probably introducing a relatively unknown plastic manufacturing process termed as rotational molding. So I hope that by the end of this session, you will come away with knowledge of this niche process from our industry. Let me start by introducing our key senior management. Leading our team is Executive Vice Chairman, Mr. Eddie. Eddie drives our overall vision, capital allocation, and execution across all our markets. Supporting Eddie, we have Edward, who is our Head of Supply Chain and Administration. So Edward oversees procurement and logistics. And then we have Mr. Lau Jun Hong, our Group Financial Controller. He leads our financial reporting, budgeting, and treasury. And then in our Indian operations, they are guided by Mr. 𝐏𝐥𝐲𝐬𝐤 Singh, who is Director of Polymer Link India. So, I'm your Group Senior Vice President. I coordinate strategy, commercial expansion, and the R&D agenda across regions, working very closely with Eddie. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the IPO summary, offering summary, and timeline. And then we'll cover business overview, key investment highlights, future plans and ESG, and finally, our financial highlights. So contact details also at the end of the slides. Now on to our IPO facts. We will be listed on the ACE market or Bursa Malaysia, like Sheikh said just now. So we have been classified as a Sharia compliant counter by the SAC. On listing, we will have 560 million shares with an IPO price of 25 cents. So that gives us about an implied market cap of around 140 million. So we'll be placing out 21.6% of the enlarged share capital, which comprise of 88 million institutional offering and 32 million of retail offering. Collectively, the substantial shareholders and promoters will maintain 71% of the enlarged share capital, and we will all be under a 6 months moratorium. So I'll talk about utilization of proceeds on my next slide. On our indicative timeline, the prospectus was launched 3 days back on the 4th of November, and the closing of applications will be on the 11th. And then the balloting will be done on the 13th, and we aim to list by the 25th of November, which is a Tuesday. And it is also the company's intention to distribute a dividend of up to 50% of the audited consolidated PATMI of each financial year. Okay, here we move on to the breakdown of the utilization of proceeds as well as the intended timeframes. I'll read the 5 buckets as they appear on our slide. So you have the expansion of our Australia operations, which is 5 million deployed within 34 months. Working capital requirements of our group, 6.2 million within 24 months. Capital expenditure, 3.61 million within 36 months. Repayment of bank borrowings, 2 million, which is immediate, as well as estimated listing expenses of 7.45 million. So the message between the numbers is very straightforward. We are investing for speed, service reliability, operational capacity, as well as our balance sheet discipline. So the Australia allocation is about practical speed. We are trying to shorten our fulfillment times for our customers and then improve our competitiveness in this market where we have already seen traction. So this is a service level investment. Post-IPO, our company will have a very balanced shareholding base comprising Malaysian public and selected investors, eligible persons, as well as our existing shareholders. So if you look here, we have shareholders here classified as other shareholders, which is 7.3%. So these are basically our initial shareholders from the lead market days. And then they have decided to continue with us this journey to this ACE market on this exercise. Next on our business overview. I'll start off with our key events and milestones. So Polymer Link was incorporated in 2011. We started our manufacturing of plastic powder in 2014. We later expanded into the Philippines in 2016 and in 2020 into India via a local subsidiary. In 2022, we also started producing master batch for our own internal use as well as external sales. In 2023, we acquired Polymer Link USA. And in 2024, we later expanded by acquiring Polymer Link Australia. So in between our business expansion, Polymer Link was also listed on the lead market in 2018. And then we later voluntarily delisted from on the 2020. So this slide shows how our entities fit together across all our markets. So our group structure spans Malaysia, Philippines, India, Australia, and the USA. So the group owns 100% of all subsidiaries except for Polymer Link Colour and Additives, which we have a 25% minority shareholder, and then Polymer Link India, where we also have a 45% local minority shareholder. In the Philippines, we also own 99.9% of Macro Philippines with a nominal portion which is held to meet local regulatory requirements. So before I move on to our business overview, I would like to frame the plastic landscape quickly so that rotation molding has some context here. So if you imagine all the major processes in the plastic industry, you will have injection molding. So injection molding dominates small parts at very high volumes, but they require expensive steel tools. Blow molding is for hollow thin wall bottles at very extreme volumes. So the likes of your jerry cans, your shampoo bottles at home. So those are all blow molding. Then you have thermoforming. Thermoforming is for the food containers. So they are heated sheet which is shaped into shallow shells. So that is thermoforming. And then here we move on to our industry, which is rotational molding. So rotational molding is basically slow baking of the powder inside a rotating mold. So the whole process is stress-free, and the whole part is one piece with very uniform and thick walls. So Polymer Link is involved in manufacturing of plastic powder for both general and specialty applications, with a core focus on this rotational molding industry. So our capability spans formulation, compounding, and grinding. And as I mentioned earlier, we also manufacture master batch. So this is used in-house as well as external. So for general applications, they are designed for day-to-day use. For our specialty applications, they are engineered to meet more stringent requirements such as UV resistance, impact strength, as well as environmental stress crack resistance. We also support our customers through toll manufacturing and contract rotomolding. So toll manufacturing is where suppliers send us their raw materials, which are usually in pellet size, and then we reduce it into micron level powders for them. And then this is packaged back in their own packaging, and then we send it back to them. So that's toll manufacturing. We also have a contract rotomolding. So this is a solution that supports customers from material design to finished product. So today, if you are a brand owner of playground equipment, so you come to us, with your product design, we will work together with the producer, the contractor, and then we will design and formulate the raw material for them, and then they will produce the final part for you. So that is contract rotomolding. So in terms of our market, back in 2018, we were highly dependent on the Philippine markets, up to about 90%. And then since 2018 until now, we have expanded into Malaysia, Papua New Guinea, USA, Australia, Poland, as well as India. So on this slide, you can see our business process flow. So this covers two main stages. Stage one being compounding and extrusion, which is this area here. So compounding and extrusion is where plastic resin. So these are raw materials which we purchase from petrochemical companies like Petronas, PTT in Thailand, Lotte in Korea. So these are all the raw material that we purchase from them, and then we mix them together with master batch that we produce in-house. These are then mixed together, extruded in a water bath, and then granulated into compounded plastic pellets. So this is the pellet forms that I mentioned earlier, where suppliers sometimes send us material to grind. This is for our stage one. Then stage two covers our niche expertise, which is size reduction. So the pellets goes into a granulator and then is grounded into the final form, which is plastic powder. So this is the form that is used in rotational molding industry, and it's the only form that works well with this process. Next, we see where our materials show up in the real world. So our powders are used in a very wide range of applications. You have insulated cooler boxes, you have playground equipments, and then for specialty application, large water tanks, this can go up to 40,000 liter. And then you have your kayaks and canoes. So some of these are competition grade kayaks, so they require very high rigidity for their use. And then you have diesel fuel tanks, you have anti-piracy barriers. So anti-piracy barriers is used in the security industry. They are utilized by shipping liners where it's fitted onto the ship. So this prevents pirate attacks. So a lot of these shipping liners actually go through straits where it's very prone to pirate attacks, which are the likes of, you have the Somali Straits and all this. So there's a lot of pirate attacks, and they feed this onto their shipping liner to prevent the pirates from hooking onto their ship. So as you can see, we have a very diverse industry that we service. So for general applications, our powders support day-to-day product needs and industrial categories. So this helps customer achieve cost-effective designs at scale. So next we move on to the rotational molding process. As you can see, it's a very simple process. So you have this large blue structure here, which is the oven. And then this black mold here is the mold where the powder is loaded into. So customers typically purchase our powder and then they place it into this hollow mold. The hollow mold is then covered and then transferred into the oven here. Inside the oven, the mold rotates on two axes, so it's a biaxial rotation. So as it rotates, the oven heats the mold, and once the mold is heated, the internal surface will become very hot and the powder will melt and coat the internal surface. Once it coats evenly after a period of time, it is removed from the oven and then it's cooled down using the industrial fans, which you can see here, the orange color fan. And there are cases where producers also use water mist to cool down the mold. So that could be also used here. So once it's cooled down, the part is removed as one seamless part. So if you have, let's say you have a cover of a printer, it is removed as one seamless part and you can just fix it onto the printer. So rotomolding offers many key advantages. So the first one would be it has no high pressure, so therefore more affordable molds. So the likes of injection molding, because of the pressure that is required in the process, the molds are actually very expensive. But for rotational molding, it's the opposite. So there is also very minimal raw material wastage. As you can see here, all the material are used in the final product. So this allows also the producer to switch from colors to colors very easily. So let's say they want to produce a pink color part and they want to change to a purple color part, it will be easy for them because the contamination won't be such a challenge. There are, of course, trade-offs. For rotational molding, there's more manual handling and it's very labor intensive. And there is also very high material cost due to the need for powder form as well as additives. So as you can see here, most of the operators here, there's no technical know-how on their part. What they do is they just place the powder into the mold and they expect the part to come out well. So a lot of R&D work is done onto the powder to ensure that the part comes out as per their requirement. So what I'm going to show you here, it's a video of our customer's process. Oops. So what you see here is a modular housing component. So they are actually placed together like Lego. And in this particular material, we have formulated it with flame retardancy as well as 30% post-consumer recycled material. So these are all your film waste, your single-use plastic waste, and that is compounded into the material that we have formulated for this particular customer. So of course, for housing structure, there's a degree of structural integrity that is required. So with the recycled material, it is usually a challenge, but we have a lot of R&D. We have done a lot of R&D work to ensure that it works for this particular use here. So it's a full-scale housing community that is all produced by this plastic component. Okay, moving on our operations. So we operate factories in Malaysia. Sorry, let me just get the pointer. Okay, so we operate factories in Malaysia, the Philippines, as well as India. All our operations have similar machineries and it's a very standardized process. So that means we have backup capacity if there's demand surges in any one of our location or plant needs downtime. We can always reallocate our production and also maintain our delivery schedules. So this allows us to adjust very quickly to any product mix shift and demand surges. If there's a different market trend and things like that, we can adjust very quickly. Our utilization is also actively managed around 60% to allow headroom for new orders and as well as ensure operational redundancy. So this, just some caveat, the utilization rate here is calculated using a very general product of ours. And then we also use 24 hours and 7 days as the calculation. So if you can imagine, if we cut it down by 12 hours operation, then we'll be more than 120%. So this is a very important thing that we manage because a lot of our customers are located globally, and their purchase are also done on a monthly basis. So utilization is a very key thing that we manage very carefully. Okay, now on to the financial highlights. I'll pass this off to Jun, our Group Financial Controller. Jun, please.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin, and good evening, everyone. I'm Jun, the Group Financial Controller for Polymer Link, and now I'm pleased to share about the key highlights of our financial performance over the past few financial years. Right. Sorry, I have something popping up my screen. All right. Sorry. Our group total revenue stood at 151 million, 133 million, 145 million for financial year 22, 23, and 24 respectively, while in FPE 9 months 2025, our revenue stood at 107 millions. The group revenue is primarily generated from general powder and specialty powder, which represents about 67% and 30% of our total revenue respectively, while the rest is contributed by master batch and other segment. And as we can see from the second graph, the Philippines remain as the group largest revenue contributors, followed by India as the second largest. And interesting to note that Australia has emerged as the fast growing markets, accounted for 13.6% of total revenue in FY 2024 and 14.5% of total revenue in FPE 2025. And in 2020, the group revenue hits a record high in the history, mainly driven by pent-up demand following the pandemic reopening. There was an exceptional surge in sales volume to one of our major customers, namely Outback Philippines. Their order has increased by approximately 50% as compared to the normal volume they order from us in other financial years. While in 2023, revenue moderated by 18.6 million or 12.2% year-on-year, mainly due to the normalization of order from Outback Philippines in view of their normalization of order from their end customers. However, the moderation was partially offset by an increase in revenue from India due to higher order from several major customers and an increase in Australia as we secure order from a major customer in Australia, namely Tangpo. While in 2024, revenue increased by 12.5 million or 9.4% year-on-year, mainly due to an increase in revenue from Australia, arising from higher order from Tangpo and also an increase in number of customer base. The customer base has increased from approximately 3 customers in 2023 to approximately 20 customers in 2024 as we established our subsidiary there in Australia. And also, there was an increase in revenue from our master batch segment as we intensify our marketing effort in this business segment. However, the increase was partially offset by lower sales from India due to reduced order from OKPlay, BAPL, and SIM+. While in respect of FPE 2025, the foreign market remained our largest revenue contributors, accounting for 93.5% of total revenue. The group revenue was considered relatively flat as compared to FPE 2024, while the key movement including the revenue from Australia rose by 2.8 million or 21.8% on the back of order from 8 new customers. While revenue from India moderated by 1.9 million or 6.8%, mainly due to lower order from OKPlay, BAPL, and it is partially offset by stronger sales from SIM+ and other major customers. Revenue from Poland dropped by 1.8 million or 50.9% due to a 53.3% decline in sales volume from a Polish customer in Q3 of FPE 2025. Next slide, please. Right, next slide, I would like to share about the component in cost of sales. In respect of FPE 2025, Our cost of sales consists of input material, which accounted 87.5% of our total cost of sales, followed by manufacturing overhead costs, accounted for 9.2%. Direct labor costs accounted for 3.2% of our total cost of sales. As we can see here, the input material is our largest component in the cost of sales. Therefore, the unit cost of our product is mainly driven by the market price of the input materials. And in relation to the gross profit margin, it improved from 25.8% to 27.6% in FYE 2023 due to a decrease in cost of input material as a result from the in-house manufacturing of master batch in the beginning of FYE 2023. The GP margin remains stable at 27.5% in FYE 2024, which is in line with the relatively stable cost of input materials. While in respect of FPE 2025, GP margin decreased from 28% to 26.1%, mainly due to lower GP margin for our general powder sold to Australian customer, which is driven by increase in the cost of input materials. In general, the average gross profit margin for our general powder is approximately 25 to 26%, while the specialty powder is approximately 28 to 35%. So there is a 2 to 10% gross profit margin gaps in terms of the general powder and our specialty powders. Right. Next slide, please. Okay. Next slide. This slide is in relation to the PATAMI. Well, in 2022, the group recorded a PATAMI of approximately 14.4 million, while in 2023, PATAMI moderated by 5.5 million, mainly due to a decline in revenue. However, the decline was cushioned by an improved gross profit margin, driven by the in-house manufacturing of master batch. In 2024, PATAMI improved by 2 million, mainly due to an increase in revenue, coupled with lower withholding tax paid on foreign dividend from foreign subsidiaries. However, the improvement was partially offset by increase in operating expenses, mainly arising from increase in staff costs. While in FPE 2025, the group recorded a PATAMI of 6.5 million, moderated by 1.6 million, mainly due to a weak macroeconomic environment surrounding the US tariff impact. We see a temporary pullback from the purchase activity during the first half of the financial year 2025, as well as increase in S&D expenses, which are arising from the increased sales force and also traveling expenses in key markets such as Australia and the Philippines. Next slide, please. And as of 30th June 2025, the group reported a total asset of 156 million, with equity of 88 million and liability of 68 million. Gearing remained healthy at 0.6 times, with net gearing at 0.3 times. Our current ratio of 2.5 times reflects solid liquidity, while the working capital is efficiently managed with 68 days trade receivable turnover, 28 days trade payable turnover, and 101 days inventory turnover. And this sums up a 141 days cash conversion cycle. Overall, the group maintains a very strong financial performance, which provides a stable foundation for the future growth. And this sums up my presentation. I will hand it back to you, Kevin. Thanks.
Thank you, Jun. So I'm going to move on to key investment highlights of the company. So since 2015, we have built a very wide geographic footprint. So we have factories in Malaysia, in the Philippines, in India. We also have sales offices in Australia as well as in the US. So in terms of in FPE 2025, in terms of revenue shares, they were approximately 44.2% from the Philippines, 25% from India, 14.5% from Australia, 6.5% from Malaysia, and then the balance comes from Poland and US. So if this reach across all these different regions gives us a very diversified revenue base, and it also reduces our concentration risk, as well as increase our addressable market in all this region. So to place our opportunity into context, you can see Malaysia's 2024 production value of polyethylene in primary form manufacturing in Malaysia is estimated at roughly 2.8 billion. So within that, our Polymer Link's group revenue from manufacturing plastic powder in our Malaysian operation in FY24 was 37.3 million. So there's a lot of headroom available for us to scale. So earlier I mentioned again, we are in our end applications are in a very wide and diverse downstream applications. So our plastic powders are used across many range of industries. And this diversity actually helps us maintain stable demand regardless of shifts in any of this single sector. If you can see here, you have fuel tanks in the automotive market, structural parts, and then you have anti-piracy barriers in security, safety furniture as well. And then in medical, you have anatomical models and spine boards. In consumer, you have your insulated cooler boxes. In your recreation, you have kayaks, canoes, your park and other benches. And then you have your industrial, which is your storage bin, your drums, chemical tanks. And then if you look into the infrastructure, you also have road barriers and signages. So the end application is actually spread across many durable, and a lot of these sectors are regulated. So this ensures very consistent demand for our plastic powder. And it also allows the company to shift production mix based on any market trend at the moment. So this helps us maintain capacity as well as margin stability. So on this next two slides, I'll just show a bit more of the applications. So you have a swimming pool, you have speaker enclosures, you have road barriers, you have intermediate bulk container. And here you have the bicycle rack, which is designed by Raymond James in the US. So this is like a pop-up display. And then you have the 𝐏𝐸𝐧𝐤 air compressor station. And then this is a sidecar. The sidecar is from 𝐿𝐴 e-bikes in UK. And then you have the electric vehicle with storage. So this is in the Netherlands. And then this is the mobility aid from Sakai Medical in Japan. So all these photos are all rotational molded. So you can see that is used in very wide range of industry. There's no specific range that it is concentrated at. So on the R&D side, our team is led by myself, and I'm also supported by PhD level talent. And we continue to enhance our portfolio of more than 1,000 formulations. The point here is very simple. Our R&D is not outsourced. It is integrated into our production operations. So this ensures that we have faster turnaround with all our customers. If they have any inquiries, we can change it because it's part of our production operations. So this gives us actually better long-term customer retention. So we have also built our business on very consistent execution and a very stable leadership team. Polymer Link has more than 11 years of operational history, expanding into 5 countries, as well as growing a very global customer base. So this consistency is driven by our leadership. Eddie himself has more than 30 years of experience in the plastic manufacturing. Edward oversees our supply chain with 19 years of experience. Our financial controller, Mr. Lau Jun Hong, has a decade in corporate finance. And our Indian operations are led by Mr. 𝐏𝐸𝐧𝐤𝐿 𝐇𝐨𝐥𝐲. So he has also more than 30 years of experience in technical and production experience. So in a nutshell, we understand this business very deeply, and we have scaled it very sustainably. So moving on, we also have strong and well-established relationships with our major customers. Our top 5 customers include Outback Philippines, OK Play Group, Simplus India, Tangpo Private Limited, Dulux Group from Papua New Guinea, among others. So this spans general and specialty applications. So if you can see here, the relationship range up to 10 years, and we continue to deepen our engagement through reliable lead times with them, our consistent quality, as well as very specific application engineering. So, and another thing I want to point to is what's important here is all these transactions are not one-off transactions. So they reflect repeat business with recurring demand. And all this relationship actually allows us to plan capacity, reduce some volatility, as well as strengthen our market position in each of the region that we operate in. Okay, now on to our future plans and strategies. On this, we are focused on 3 key pillars. In Australia, we will establish a leased warehouse in Brisbane. So we are targeting at least 2,500 square feet, close to the port of Brisbane and actually one of our key customer, Tangpo. So the objective here is very clear. We want to reduce delivery lead times from 4 to 6 weeks to no more than 1.5 weeks. So this improves responsiveness as well as enhance our competitiveness in this market. So this is also paired with all the market development activities to broaden our base of Australian customers. So in Europe, we also intend to appoint a representative in Poland, either under an agency model or distributor model. So the goal here is to expand sales coverage and logistic efficiency for the broader European market, so building on our existing customer relationship. So because of these two pillars, we also plan to acquire additional machinery and equipment for our Malaysian factory. This is to meet the rising demand that we notably from the Australian and the European region. So this again aligns with our internal policy of maintaining headroom once utilization exceeds around 60%. So following these investments, our plastic powder manufacturing